Welcome to Life Planning 101, brought to you by Kennedy Financial Services of Eastland. Tune in every Monday morning at 8:30 on KATX and again on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on KATX and KWBY as Angela Robinson joins Stace Gaddy to share important financial information to help you live life on purpose, insurance, investments, estate and tax planning, and much more. All covered now on Life Planning 101.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the program, Life Planning 101. As the nice announcer man said, I'm Stace Gaddy, our special guest and expert in the field, Angela Robinson from Kennedy Financial Services right here in Eastland. Always a pleasure to see you, ma'am.
Yes, you as well, Stace. And great day, exciting day. We got a lot to cover today. Real excited. We're going to be talking about a tool to help you measure your wealth.
Okay.
Which would be real exciting. And then I've got something since it is Thanksgiving week. Actually, I got a few something since it is Thanksgiving week.
Okay.
But that's something at the end of the show. It has to do with Black Friday and the number one mistake that consumers make on Black Friday. So I don't think you're going to want to miss that at the end of the show. We are going to be giving away some prizes today. I know Saturday, everybody may be sick of turkey, but we are going to give away a turkey, and you could always freeze it for Christmas, correct?
Yes.
Yes. And also, we've got, just because everybody's going to eat too much this week or has eaten too much this week, we're going to give away 1 month of free gym membership to your choice. I know we've got a lot of listeners from all over Eastland County.
Covered.
Yeah, Eastland County and Erath County. So to your choice of gym, 1 month of free gym membership. And that's going to be over our trivia for this week. So make sure you listen in good to statistics and not anything but a hint there. Statistics and facts.
I even caught that one.
Yeah. So, but what I want to start with today, because it is Thanksgiving week, and I was reading something yesterday, and actually I had a really great day yesterday. My nephew, him and a lot of other little kids from Eastland, and we saw some from some surrounding towns, got to go up to the Dallas Cowboys Stadium and play in the Dallas Cowboys Stadium yesterday. Their little football.
Really?
Yes. So it was great. I mean, they were so ecstatic, and here these little 8, 10 years olds are, and they're out there on the field raising up their hands, getting the crowd motivated, and it was just wonderful. It was really wonderful. And of course, we were able to sit down close to the field, so being that close to the field in the Cowboys Stadium by itself is just great. It's just a wonderful experience, especially when you're a diehard like me, despite all the crazy drama. But
welcome back.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, we were walking out the door, and my husband was saying something about it'd be worth even if we don't go every few years or every 5 years to save our money and get really good seats and really be able to enjoy all that comes with that, because that's quite the experience. And I said it would, but how many people actually even get to come to the stadium? How blessed we are. How really blessed we are. And so many of us as Americans, we take for granted each day what we have to be thankful for, right? So in the spirit of Thanksgiving, I wrote a little something I want to share.
All right.
And I think it's something that you can, throw to the wayside, or you can take it to heart. And my challenge for you this week is every day that you wake up, I want you to think of 5 things that you're thankful for before you get your day going. So here it is. Each day, we wake up not knowing what the day may bring. Each day, we are faced with lots of little things, some bigger things, and sometimes huge things. Some days are good, some days are not so good, and some days are downright bad. We worry about the future. We worry about our family. We think about the past, the good and the bad. We reminisce. We regret. We wish we could do some things we can't. We wish we could own some things we can't. We wish that some things were different. Today, we wake up not knowing what the day may bring. Today, we are thankful for the gift to be alive. We are thankful to experience the little things, the bigger things, and even the huge things. We are thankful to have a future to worry about. We are thankful to have a family to worry about. Today, we are thankful for our memories, both good and bad. Today, we are thankful for things we can do. We are thankful for things we have. Today is perfect. We are thankful for the life we live and the country we live in. Sometimes we just end up focusing too much on all these so-called holes in our lives. We want. We need. It has to be better. We can't go through this again, or don't want to experience this. And we're all a sum of our experiences in life. And God has given us that path. And sometimes we don't listen and we go down our own path and make it worse for ourselves. But, it's really good, I think, for us to reflect and to realize that we do live in the greatest nation in the world. We do live in a community that is a wonderful community full of heartfelt families and and many of us have family and friends that we're going to be surrounded with this week. And I think it is time to sit back and to say thank you to God and to ourselves and to where we live. So with that,
wow,
yeah.
no. Hold on, Angela Robinson. That gets a gigantic round of applause.
Oh, wow.
A poet, too.
A poet,
Also-
too. I don't know
also
about
a
that.
poet.
Yeah, just like to write sometimes.
Let me
but-
also interrupt you and say thank you very much for calling it Cowboy Stadium. Enough said. Moving along.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that. Well, it's always that way to me.
That's right.
So,
It is Cowboy Stadium, folks.
That's right. That's right. So, and like I mentioned, remember, we are going to be talking about how you measure your wealth today. And when we come back, I've got a great tool that you're not going to want to miss using, and you're not going to want to miss that number one mistake consumers make on Black Friday. And if it's Saturday, but you're still shopping, you still got Cyber Monday, so you want to hear this.
I really do want to hear that. That's going to be a great tip. And you also want to be listening for a particular statistic?
Statistic
Is
or a
that right?
fact.
Or fact. Statistic or fact. Just a little helpful hint. You're listening to Life Planning 101 with Angela Robinson. I'm Stace Gaddy. We're going to take a quick break and come right back. Keep it right here. Welcome back in, folks. The second segment of Life Planning 101. Angela Robinson, our expert. I'm Stace Gaddy. Glad to be with you. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Let me remind you, too, rebroadcast on Saturday mornings, both here on KATXradio.com and KWBYradio.com at 9 a.m. Good morning, Angela. Our topic today, how do you measure your wealth?
And that's what we're on. So before we get going, I want to remind everyone, if you've got questions, make sure that you email us. It's lifeplanning@kennedy-financial.com, lifeplanning@KENNEDY-financial.com, because we are giving away a free turkey for that. So yes, you don't want to miss. If you've got a question, most likely someone else has that exact question, and be sure to submit it. There's no such thing as a dumb question. I promise you that. But we are going to be talking about wealth versus true wealth. And it's interesting. I read this quote. It's from an English congressional speaker in the early 1900s. His name is John Henry Jowett. And he said, "The real measure of our wealth is how much we would be worth if we lost our money." And I know that sounds very interesting from someone that makes their living managing people's money, right? So, but it's very true. We do. We help people grow their money every month. You hear my brother come in and give a market update, and we manage money. We help with taxes. We do all kinds of planning around money. However, that's really not what we do. I know that sounds weird, but our tagline is to help people live life on purpose. And so what does that really mean? And most of us have money, but money creates problems for us. We have a lot of complications surrounding it. So it creates confusion, stress, lots of other problems that can come with that. And, when you have all of those things in your life, it keeps you awake at night. It makes you worry about things. It makes you, do all the things we just talked about not doing, right? And instead being thankful. And so, what I want you to really think about is, where's your wealth without your money? Is your money keeping you awake at night? Is there things that are going on around you that's really causing you stress that is money related? And if it is, it may be a good time to revisit the root of what life is really all about for you and what your wealth is really all about, and what the fulfillment is. We have what we call the 8 life planning issues. And we go through those in a proactive manner with everybody that we meet with. In fact, we have a full-fledged agenda we use. We call it an infrastructure meeting when we first sit down with someone, and we get really, really nosy about every facet of their life. One of the questions we ask is, what was money like growing up? That can tell a lot about a person. What are the most important things in life to you? If you didn't have to worry about money, what would you want to be doing? Those types of things. And that's really important for us to revisit because, and we have a rule of thumb in our office. When we hire people, we hire on unique ability. We want people to come in and be able to be excited to be at work in the morning. We want it to almost to be to the point that if they didn't get paid, they'd be there anyway. And I think, if we all worked, if we all had that capacity, wouldn't life be a lot better for everybody, right? But we don't. We think about the money first in a lot of particular cases. And I was looking back, and we actually started writing articles in 2006. we've been in business since 1989, but we started writing articles in 2006. So it's almost 10 years that we've been writing articles. And every week we've written on retirement planning, estate planning, business planning, tax planning, risk management, whatever it is. But in the midst of that, we have written over 50 articles on how to live life on purpose. Isn't that crazy? It's almost a year worth of
It's
articles.
unique.
Yes.
It is.
But why do you think we do that? It's not because, that's how we make our living, but because that's what's really important. And if you've read any of those articles, you've probably heard me ask this question before. And it's something that we sit and we ask our clients this question. And I think it's really important. And with it being Thanksgiving week and a time to be thankful, again, I would challenge you to really let this sink in. And here's the question. If this were your last day on earth, where would you want to be? What would you want to be doing? Who would you want to be with? What about spiritually, mentally, physically, financially? All of those things. Now, what if it's your last 5 years, 10 years on earth? How does that change? And, I'm always infamous for quoting John Maxwell. He says, begin with the end in mind, right? Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what we forget to do. We always think about today. And man, I forgot to turn off the coffee pot. That's what we worry about, right? But, the answers to those questions, they really depict what your life is like every day to day. And, here's the deal. I've had the privilege, I've worked with a coach. His name is Dr. John Rhodes. And he's actually hired by a real estate company that we had done business with in the past, which I found very interesting because his sole job is to work with advisors on their business and life balance. That's all he does. And this real estate company hired him to do this. And why do you think they did that?
To get balance.
Yeah, so that their advisors could be able to, have that balance. And I thought that was really great that they actually did that. And I started meeting with him back in 2007. He has created like this little simple scorecard. It is the best thing in the world. We actually use it every single quarter. We've had him come and talk to our clients in both Abilene and Fort Worth at some of our dinners. And this scorecard is called a balanced wheel scorecard. And he goes through it. And it in itself, kind of like our 8 life planning issues, has this balance of things over whether it's spiritually or mentally or physically or financially or things you want to learn, your vocation, all these different areas of life. And he has you score yourself out on these different areas of life. And the funny thing is the first time you do it, you think you actually may score pretty well. But when you do it every quarter, you get harder and harder on yourself because you really start to see the holes in your life, and that's what's really, in my opinion, cool, okay? Because it's not about, if you have this big scorecard and it's filled out all pretty, it's about, being honest with yourself. Progress starts by telling the truth.
Don't cheat on the balance card.
That's right. That's right. Because it's all about yourself. But we really do in the beginning. We're not very honest with ourselves. It just doesn't happen. So, but he has a saying, that he uses. He says, continue progress, not perfection. And one of the things that he has you do is when you get done scoring yourself is to walk away with one thing that you're going to do within the next quarter, whether it be write a love letter to your spouse or whether it be to tell someone that you really appreciate them in your life or to read a book or whatever those things are. He has you write that on there and you're supposed to keep that in your wallet or your purse until you get it done and you can discard it. So I want to encourage you to use that scorecard. It's on our website, www.kennedy-financial.com. It's in our learning center and it's called the Life Scorecard, and it will help you be able to measure your wealth.
Wonderful. Excellent. You see, folks, Life Planning 101, much, much more than money management. It really is life planning. Listen, we're going to take a quick break, but ruminate on this one, Angela Robinson. What I'm learning today is that it's possible for your money to make you poor.
That's right.
Is that right?
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Think on that one, folks. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more. Keep it right here. Welcome back in, folks, to the third and final segment of Life Planning 101 this morning. I'm Stace Gaddy. Our resident expert is Angela Robinson from Kennedy Financial Services here in Eastland. Good morning again, ma'am.
Yes, and we are finally made it to the last segment of our show. I'm going to give you another hint. The fact or a statistic that you're looking for is going to be in this part of the show for that 1 month gym membership to your gym of choice. Make sure you email us, lifeplanning@kennedy-financial.com for that trivia. But I know this is a segment that everybody's been waiting on because every year, I don't know how many thousands, if not millions of consumers shop on Black Friday or Cyber Monday, right? And
most of them.
Yes, most of them. And I'm even going to fall victim to it this year myself. I have not. I have really stayed away from the whole Black Friday thing, and we have been in the process of remodeling a house, and I said, well, might as well take advantage of the sales and wait. So here we are. I guess I'm going to be fighting the crowds myself this weekend. But here's the deal. There is a huge mistake that tons of consumers make every year that ends up hurting their credit and their bank accounts. All right?
All right, hit me.
Yep. And it's this little thing called retail store credit cards. Okay.
Yes.
All right. If you noticed, anytime you go somewhere, they offer you, say, oh, we'll save you 15% on today's purchase if you sign up for our credit card. Well, so many people do that because it sounds like a lot of money. Let's just imagine that you had, done some Christmas shopping and you got, sweaters for sisters, clothes for kids, belt for husband, whatever, and it's, $157 on Black Friday. Well, you get a 15% discount on that. That's over $24. That's about $24. Okay,
right.
That's big. That sounds like a lot of money, and it's tempting. I can't even. I mean, even myself, when they offered 15% off, I'm kind of a bargain hunter. So it sounds very tempting. However, I promise you, they're not doing that for you.
Yeah.
They're doing that for them. And in fact, at your expense, okay? Because there are actually 4 different ways that is going to hurt your credit or your bank account by signing up for that credit card. And then 2, in addition to that, I want you to think about some other things at the end that are in generic with your credit. Now, I will say, we work with a gentleman, his name is Philip Tyrone, and if you have any credit questions, inquiries, or problems with your credit, he is the credit master. He is great. He is a credit counselor. He has a website called 7 Steps to a 720, and we've got his materials. We've helped clients with his stuff to be able to bail them out of bad situations, especially when it wasn't even their fault, because we've all been the victim of identity fraud or had some things on our credit that shouldn't be, or there's 3 credit bureaus. They aren't always right. I will tell you that. So he's really, really great, and I would strongly recommend his stuff for anybody that's looking for some credit help. Now, why is it that these retail stores or retail cards are so bad? Well, number one reason is because they have a very high interest rate. It's usually in the percentage range of 20 to 30%, which is much higher than a traditional credit card. So unless you're going to pay that balance right away, it's going to cost you more. I promise that $24 is going to get eaten up pretty quick in that savings that you had on the 15% discount, right? Mm-hmm. And I want you to think about this too. If you sign up for their credit card, do you typically give them your mailing address or your email?
Yes.
Yes, you do. Okay. So do they send you coupons?
Yes.
Okay. And have you ever been guilty of seeing a coupon and buying something because you saw a coupon?
Is that to me or to the... I've never bitten on that.
Oh, no. I'm impressed, Stace. I'm very impressed. Now, most people do. They get something in their email box and they see, oh, clothing sale, 50% off. Well, I'm going to go on there and buy more clothes. Okay. Again, your 15% is gone. Number 3, you're likely to engage in a little retail therapy if you have a card.
Retail therapy.
Retail therapy,
yes.
Okay? If you get accustomed to having to use cash or using one credit card that you know what your budget is each month, you're much likely to stay within those budgets. But if you have just another retail card that you could pay out or this type of thing, you're likely to spend more money. It just happens.
It's true.
Yeah. And then you might think about this. If you get this one-time offer today, now I've even been guilty of this in some other instances. I haven't got a retail card, but if you've been, offered today to save 15% on your entire purchase, how many of us turn back around and go get more things and bring it back to the counter?
30% more.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So again, the 15% is gone. It really didn't help your wallet at all, I promise you. And here's how your credit score can suffer. This is really, really important. I think this is more important than just what your bank account suffers, because your credit score goes out forever. In fact, Phil Tyrone, in his books, he talks about people with a credit score that's a 50-point difference, which doesn't sound like a lot, but if people with a 50-point difference can cost them 6 figures over their lifetime.
Really?
Yes, because even your insurance, your auto insurance is tied to your credit. Wow. The
Yeah.
price of your auto insurance is tied
Are
to your
you
credit.
listening, folks?
Yep. Or a job. We have literally not been able to hire people because they've got bad credit.
Are you listening, folks?
Yep, it's a big deal.
Particularly young people.
Yes, it's a big deal. So here's the 3 things that your credit score can suffer from. Number 1 is keeping the cards active. It can be tough because if you think about it, if you go to Sears and you buy appliances, how often are you going to use that Sears card? Do you shop there every month?
No.
No. Well, in order to have your credit be good, you have to use your credit card every month. If not, they're going to put inactive and it actually hurts your credit. Number 2, all right, you might end up with too many credit cards. You're really only supposed to have 3 to 5 credit cards. That's the sweet spot. Any more than that hurts your credit.
Okay.
And by the way, and I don't think you're going to use your Sears card at the gas station. Might be able to use your American Express at both places, but not your Sears card. And then the final reason is every time that you have a credit inquiry on your score, 10% of your credit score is actually made up by credit inquiries. So,
Really?
yes. So be careful how many times you inquire for credit. It's really important. So let's get to our trivia before the show ends. We're giving away 1 month of free gym membership to work off that turkey.
Yes.
All right, to your gym of choice. Here is the question. These retail cards have a very high interest rate. What is that interest rate range? Life planning at Kennedy-financial.com. And make sure you also email us your question. Best question of the week gets a free turkey. So we're really happy to be able to have everyone on the show. And again, you know, my big thing to remember for today is today's the first day of the rest of your life. Make the most of it. God bless you, and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. God bless you too, Angela Robinson, and everyone at Kennedy Financial. Can we do maybe even Monday? Maybe just credits, just credit cards.
Yes, we could
before
do-
the holiday season.
We can do just
so
credit
people
cards.
will know exactly how those scams work.
Yes, I think that's a
And
great idea.
Let's do it Monday.
Okay.
Because there's so many things, folks, and they present it to you, and they're trained professionals, and they make you feel guilty and stupid for not taking the 15%.
That's right.
I mean, it's Scam Alert.
Yes.
Is what it is.
Yes, it
Scam
is.
Alert. So Monday, we're going to do that. Is that okay
Yep,
with you?
that's great.
Perfect. All right, folks, that's a wrap for our program today. Be sure and check it out again if you missed anything on KATXradio.com this Saturday or KWBYradio.com also on Saturday. The nice announcer man will give you more information. Be blessed. Angela Robinson, it's much, much more than money management. It's life planning 101. We will see you next time.
Thank you for joining us for Life Planning 101, brought to you by Kennedy Financial Services of Eastland. Tune in every Monday morning at 8:30 on KATX and again on Saturday morning at 9 o'clock on KATX and KWBY for more Life Planning 101.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through VSR Financial Services Incorporated, a registered investment advisor and member of FINRA SIPC. Kennedy Financial Services is not owned or controlled by VSR Financial Services Incorporated.